little music. Like old times.
Welcome back to the third segment of Third and Out. I'm Nate Cannon in New Orleans, and with me today I got Timmy Cannon in Houston. Timmy, how you doing?
Hey Nate, I'm doing pretty well. About you?
Pretty good. I also have our third associate today with me as well. We got Matthew Hoffpower here in studio. Matthew, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Timmy, I got to tell you, this is going to be an exciting interview.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this one. Matt is, he's a character. We all know him. We all love him. So yeah, it should be fun, and I think our audience is really going to get a kick out of it.
Indeed. Yeah. So Matt, have you been doing anything recently training wise for the Cranberry Bowl? You've been doing anything to prepare?
Well, I've been putting in a lot of hours at the metal machining shop. Certainly cutting a lot of lines out of metals, and I think that kind of can translate, at least conceptually, to running button hook plays and things of that nature. Like, I've gotten pretty good at drawing lines. So in a huddle, I think when you take your index finger and draw a line on somebody's chest and say, okay, I want you to run like this, think of like this. Yeah. So I think in that department, which can be an overlooked asset. And then outside of that, I don't know, I've been lifting a lot of heavy objects. So in case a fight breaks out, maybe I can, lift a bar stool or something to kind of put that fire out.
Knock somebody out.
Yeah. You feel me.
And, crowd control, that's a pretty important thing. In the past, I know we've had fights between various people, touching people's brothers, like, hey, don't mess with my brother, oh, dude, you don't mess with my cousin, and a fight breaks out, and, there's nothing you can do because this is a high stakes game, and, emotions really run high,
And it's definitely important to be prepared for that sort of thing. So, I mean, every year without fail, right, we have some sort of altercation.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, it's more of an eventuality than a potentiality.
So, Nate, Matt, what have y'all been up to recently? Any anything exciting over the last week?
Well, I'll tell you what. We had a gig, and I think we've been the Lakeshore drivers have been have really been practicing a lot, and I think we're just getting better and better. So that's been an exciting development. Always fun practicing with those guys. Hopefully some of the footwork translates to, the close to the sidelines, a little bit of balance up there on the stage, hopefully translates to staying in bounds. And, breathing is important. So I've been doing a lot of breathing practice, singing. But, otherwise been doing a lot of social things. I went and I saw a Jamaican reggae band at a bar a couple nights ago, which was really fun. And can't wait to do more of that.
Timmy, you ever seen a reggae band?
I have never seen a reggae band.
Yeah, I can't say I have the exact same thing. I can't say I've ever seen one. That seems like quite the experience.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely a little bit jealous of that. And also, just so our listeners know, Matt, as he alluded to, is in the band called the Lakeshore Drivers. But to clarify, they don't actually perform the song Lakeshore Drive, to the best of my knowledge. So just know that going in, whenever you go to one of their concerts. Usually they're sold out. So if you're going to go to a concert, try and get tickets early. Definitely recommend. Just know that the song Lakeshore Drive, at least last time I was there, it was not in their repertoire, so to speak.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, we like to keep people on their toes, or on our toes.
Everyone should be on their toes,
Right.
either way, right?
Yeah, yeah. I actually paint my toenails with a picture of my face to keep myself on my toes.
Oh man, Matt, how many people can you fit on your toes?
I actually only have 9.5 toenails. The left big toe of my body has only a half a toenail. I mean, I can show you if you want. It's a real thing.
Well, let's see.
So I can probably fit about 9.5 people if you want to give each one like the full real estate of a toenail. So,
Oh, there it is.
there you
Yeah,
go.
look at there. Live look in studio at Matt's toenails, and sure enough, left big toe, only half a toenail.
Yeah, that's a reality. So, yeah, but I mean, it's a trade off because then it won't hurt as much if you stub your toe, but you're more likely to get a broken toe. So that's the story. Some people have their toenails removed. I did not.
You just came that way.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was because I dropped a painting on it when I was carrying one of my paintings downstairs that I had done on plywood. It was a bear and bear cubs, and I just dropped the bear right on my toe and broke the toenail clean off. So it never quite grew back the same. So that's my story, and I'm not gonna change it.
So that's interesting because a couple of years ago, Ronnie, she had her arm broken in the middle of the Cranberry Bowl by cousin David. Is that right? Cousin David Bone Crusher Albano?
Yep, that's correct.
And to the best of my knowledge, Sister Veronica, her arm grew back I think exactly the same way it was.
Yeah, it's like a mirror image of the other one, I would say. So based on that, I think that worked pretty well. She was able to walk off on that injury, so that was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It is a bit odd how Ronnie's happened to grow back the same, but Matt's didn't form that mirror image as he just described Ronnie's. So, funny old world, isn't it?
Yeah,
Indeed it is.
it's a woman's world these days.
Well, yeah, and that's certainly true. I think one thing that we could maybe infer from this is that maybe Veronica is the Wolverine. Like, maybe that's just what it is. Maybe normally people's appendages don't grow back the way they were broken, or from the way they were before they were broken. But Ronnie may be superhuman.
It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, that's true. I think in that case, Ronnie would definitely have to be one to watch, right? Maybe a marquee player we should keep our eyes on.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we probably need to do a little bit more investigating into that because it's a really interesting point that you bring up.
Yeah. Well, my guess would be then if she has a regenerating factor in all of the cells of her body, that she also has adamantium claws that are retractable. So what we should probably do is one of the cannons could sneak up on her in the middle of the night and try a little bit of electroshock around the tendons in her elbows and see if you can trigger the claws, and then we can find out, because that would be useful to know.
Well, if there are any cannons listening from home, you have your newest assignment.
And we'll be expecting a report back within the week. So.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
That'd be nice. Yeah, that'll give us plenty of time to develop our own.
Because
superpowers.
we all need to. We definitely are going to need to train harder in terms of fighting. If Ronnie can, slice people up with her knuckles.
Yeah, just plan ahead a little more. Wear some shin guards all over your body.
Yeah, maybe some.
Get a neck guard.
Yeah.
Get a Captain America shield.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, I guess before we get into the interview, the formal interview with today's guest, let's head over to Timmy with the news.
Thanks, Nate. The first bit of news we have today is cousin Will Hoffpower. It's been reported that he actually delivered pizza to the Doobie Brothers. I think, Matt, you might have a little bit more information on that.
Yeah, I did hear about this one. And from a reliable source, and I think it was somebody told me that the Doobie Brothers actually do not be brothers. They're just called brothers. But it was, in fact, the people that are called the Doobie Brothers that Will delivered the pizza to them, and they tipped him in American money. And I believe that it was also told me that they said that they were just like a little bit starstruck, so they didn't say much to him when he delivered the pizza, but they said they were fans.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, like we mentioned in the first episode, Timmy, Will, he laid the groundwork for the rules for the game, right? He uttered the first rule to ever be spoken, which was if they bleed less than a pint, then it's not a foul, right? So I feel like with someone with that monumental of an impact on the Cranberry Bowl, the premier competition of American football in the land, of course, someone with that kind of impact, you'd expect the lowly Doobie Brothers to be starstruck. And it's too bad, really, because Cousin Will, he's just another guy, he's just like us.
Oh yeah, you sit him down, he's like, you can talk to him. He's just he's a bro.
Yeah, I should say that, yeah, if you have the opportunity to have a pizza delivered to you by Will, you consider yourself lucky, because Will Hoffpower is a good man with a pie. So
he is a good man with a pie.
Yeah, you're in good company. It basically means you're a top 40 rock artist from the 70s if you get a pizza from Will. Such a cultural influence across the board, really. I mean, he inspired Seth Rogen to get plastic surgery to look more like Will. So, I mean, at that point, he's a household name.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, in the second bit of news we have here, it's actually a really, really good week for news. Joe Hoffpower, cousin Joe Hoffpower, that is, we want to congratulate him for stacking the Orion capsule onto the SLS, and that some outlets are even saying that Joe actually went up there and did the job himself when his subordinates couldn't get the job done properly, and then following completion of the stacking, he actually climbed down the rocket. He scaled it with just with his bare hands while carrying a socket wrench set with his feet and a crescent wrench between his teeth. So, really outstanding work there from Joe.
Wow, that's great.
That's impressive. That's the kind of grit you need to play in the game.
Yeah.
And then finally, rumors have it now. Facts can be so misleading, but rumors, whether true or not, are often revealing. And rumors have it that Phil Graham, cousin Philip Graham, as he's formerly known, has expressed interest in returning to the legendary Viking country of Norway for uni. And that could be really exciting. I think most men want to have the opportunity to go to Norway to kind of learn what our forefathers did, our Viking forefathers, as they were some impressive men indeed. So that again, just a rumor, but I think that's pretty cool interest there.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head there, really. Facts can be so misleading, but rumors, whether true or not, they can be often very revealing. And so I think, if this is true, and if Philip does wind up going to Norway, this could be a real game changer. I think, he has the opportunity to train and learn from the lands of, some of the greatest, most mighty men of all time, and so I think an opportunity like that is really something that could add not only to his game, but also to the game as a whole. And I think that really could be a turning point, a swinging point for Philip to become, maybe even break some of the records. Like, we talked about Timmy's got the most awesome stat line of 2014 Cranberry Bowl. He had 3 touchdown passes and 300 yards. No, was it 5 touchdown passes, 300 yards?
Something like that.
Well, anyway, Philip getting an opportunity like this, he may even be able to break awesome records like that.
And again, I'd say, if this does come to fruition, that's going to be another guy you got to look out for in the brawling scene of the game, because, well, we all know how those Vikings could fight. So,
I mean, imagine I look a little further in the future, and I believe that uni is free in Norway, complimentary with the plane ticket. So if if I've heard correctly. So I mean, you think about, okay, you have Philip Graham coming out of the Norwegian region in whenever that happens to be. I wouldn't be surprised
The
if
Norwegian, if you will.
the Norwegian. Yeah, if you see a trend of that, like we might have to all be sending all of our players in there like in a couple of years, like just to beef up for in between brawls, just when the clock is not going,
Right, I do
That's
think
where the real game is going to be played in upcoming years, I think.
I do think I've seen that advertisement as well. The advertisement for Norway. It's buy one plane ticket, get 4 years of uni free. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, my travel agent actually just the other day, she told me that. She said, if you ever want to go to Norway, you get a free degree. Comes with it. All right. That would be Timmy with the news.
Excellent. I should mention that our sponsors for today's episode, we actually have two corporate sponsors. The first is we're very grateful to Save Mary for sponsoring this episode. There's two game modes that are acceptable at Grandma's house, which is you can play Save Mary or Kill Mary. Either way, Mary's going to lose eventually, and you're going to have a great time. Also sponsored by Bucks Defibrillators and life-saving medical devices. If you have the ability to speak and you've got a choice, choose Bucks.
real quick before we go kick it over, the other day I drove over to Austin. There was a beach volleyball tournament, a 4-man beach volleyball tournament there, and Taryn Cloth, Kristen Nuss were playing in it. So I thought I'd go say hey to them, and I was driving back really late, and so finally got home, went to bed, and it was really weird because I dreamed a dream the other night.
Lowlands away, me John.
And that was a really fun trip. So
Wow, that's great. Was it Aussie rules or?
no, it was beach volleyball. Regular rules.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
That'd be interesting. I wonder if they have beach volleyball, or I guess it would be Oz beach volleyball. Oz beach volleyball.
That does sound right. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. That would definitely be interesting. It'd be probably kind of like football-y, but Oz ball.
Yeah, perhaps a bit more violence.
Right. Well, definitely a different shaped ball, a little bit more. A little bit more physical. How you say interaction, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So our third guest on Third and Out is the lead singer of the Lakeshore Drivers. He was the esteemed weatherman of the 2016 Mayflower Classic, and he is the second overall pick of the 2019 NTJJ Fantasy Marriage Draft. Our guest on this third segment is Matthew Hoffpower. Matthew, how you doing?
Well, let me tell you right now, it's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor.
as it should be. To be clear, an honor that is.
Yeah. So, Matt, I'm curious. There's been talks about who the tallest girl cousin is, and we talked briefly last episode, Timmy and I did, about who that might be. I know we were talking about Karen the past couple of episodes. We've been talking about how Karen's really getting up there in height. I wonder, do you have any insight on who you might think the girl relative with the most height is?
Wow. Wow. That's actually a great question. I mean, nobody's really seen Evelyn except for over Zoom for the past couple of months, so that's hard to say. You never know she might still be growing. I have a lot of experience of standing next to Lori. I think Lori's done growing, and so maybe that's just a historical bias on my part if I was gonna have Lori come to mind as the first. Because I believe that Ellie is not as tall as Ronnie.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's easy to get those. And then Maggie.
Yeah, so Maggie, she's starting to give Ronnie a run for her money.
Okay, wow.
But
okay.
I do think it's still Veronica, and of course, that adamantium that may be adding a bit to the superhuman regenerative size.
Right.
So.
She might keep growing actually. If she
Right.
regenerates, it might be she just keeps getting up there until the until the X-Men have like a, develop some technology to shrink her so she can partake in normal human activities again.
Right. I wonder if Cousin Patsy. I don't think we mentioned her last time, but
I had thought of that.
She's got to be pretty tall, huh? Don't you think?
She's got to be pretty tall. I mean,
she's got to.
What's tall to the gander is tall to the goose, as they say. So.
That's a great point. Yeah, they do say that quite a bit.
A knee high to a grasshopper is worth 2 in a bear's mouth.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when you put it that way, it really, it definitely makes you think of Patsy's height, Cousin Patsy's height in a much different light there, in terms of how she stacks up, no pun intended.
Oh, yeah.
But, with the other cousins.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's, I think insects being a class of animals that tends to evolve rather quickly, the knee height of a grasshopper is always a little bit, year by year, so.
Subject to change, as
yeah, it's just another thing that keeps the game interesting. You know what I'm saying? Just another factor that's why we love this sport.
So, Matt, I'm wondering, I guess first off, when was your first Cranberry Bowl experience? And how do you think the game has changed, evolved, or maybe even devolved since then?
Well, I'll tell you something right now. I was definitely playing in the Cranberry Bowl back when the field was actually located in the street in front of Buck and Grandma's house, and that was before they built the Galatas Stadium for the Cranberry Bowl. That was. And I believe that was maybe the location of the first game, even perhaps. I'm not the best on the history. You guys would have to fact check me on that. But I do remember those days, and back then it was difficult to demarcate a 10-yard line for first downs. So the first downs were always 3 completions. I don't know how the official rules for this year go for first downs, but that certainly made an interesting game, where you would relatively often you would have a strategy of the quarterback turns around and hands the ball to the person who receives the quarterback doesn't. The quarterback receives the snap, and then the person who did the snap turns around and the quarterback underhand tosses it to him with 2 hands. And he catches it 2 inches in front of the quarterback's face, and then you yell, "That's a completion!" And then the guy gets knocked down by a vigorous 2-hand touch. So I
probably by David Bone Crusher Albano.
It's quite possible that he was. I'd have to go back and watch the tapes. But yeah, that was that I think the strategy is good. Look, I'll tell you what, the Cranberry Bowl is a game. It seems to me in the past few years it's been very kind of an offensive game, right? Where a lot of the game comes down to how fast you can count Mississippi's on the defense, but also this idea of nobody's really got protective gear on, which I think is one of the reasons why this is a premier match, is because American people love to see that. But it makes it just a little bit more okay, how much body checking can I do as a defensive player to actually prevent people from running around me, and then so quite often you'll have people getting out there to run their patterns, and a lot of options for the quarterback, and so I think so a lot of it comes down to interceptions for turnovers. I believe the interception ratio for the Cranberry Bowl is a little bit higher than let's say something NFL or one of the other minor leagues. So I do wonder how that will change when you add the Fulmer element, or what we call the TFE, to the game in this upcoming year, because I don't know, I haven't been following them, so it makes you wonder. And
I know Evelyn, she mentioned that Steven's going to be one to watch. I haven't talked to Steven personally, but I did talk to cousin Olivia, and she said that she was hoping and thinks that probably, barring some unusual circumstances, she will be in attendance for the game. So I imagine we'll get to see what Steven's about, and maybe even a couple other of the Fulmers adding to that the Fulmer element, TFE.
Yeah. How old's the little one? The newborn baby one?
She's probably a couple of months, right?
Okay. Yeah. Nice. I mean, okay. So she's qualified if she elects to declare. So.
Right. Well, I mean, she is a relative, so.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And 2 months, I think, is the line.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to start them too early. So, I think 2 months has been the agreed upon age. So that would be exciting to see if she chooses, to make herself draft eligible.
Right. And at that point, you're still just a prospect, right? Like, nobody's really expecting you to make a huge impact on the game, right? You got tons of experience around you. But prospects, as we all know, prospects can be just as exciting to watch, just seeing like the raw talent and I guess more of a natural know-how when it comes to the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'll be exciting to see how that unfolds.
So, Matt, do you have a favorite memory of the game? Like, do you have like a specific, when I say the words Cranberry Bowl, what sticks out to you as like that's the Cranberry Bowl?
Yeah, I think that every cousin has had it, and I certainly remember mine from a first person perspective, but I do remember the moment of like you just you've been playing a little while, your head actually just like gets in the zone at some point, and you're there. Some people start off that way, like Ronnie is playing Cranberry Bowl with her left foot and the Cranberry Cup with her right foot, but like I remember a moment of getting in the zone one year after years of playing the Cranberry Bowl. I finally got in the zone, and a couple years ago in the game, and I just said like, I'm gonna be the quarterback, and I think everybody in the team around me like read the confidence in my voice, and they were like, okay, give Matt the ball, and then I just threw like 4 completions and got a touchdown. It was really fun. All of a sudden, like your eyes just kind of know what to do. Your instincts like zero in on like that's the guy I need to throw to, and you make that pass to Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. May his marks always be Marky and his bunches always be funky.
Yeah, that's true. And like you said, if you're making 4 completions in a row and a touchdown, that's pretty easily. How much are you the quarterback? Like what is your typical position in the game? What is your normal? What is your natural go-to when you go out in the game?
Yeah, I think I usually play Adam back or Kirkle back on the offense. But I think I've also covered Lori maybe once or twice and said, "Don't ever do that to me again." And I think I play quarterback probably an average of every other year.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. If you're only playing every other year and you get 4 completions and a touchdown, that's like, as they say in the NFL, and we don't want to use these antiquated in NFL metrics or anything like that, but as they say in the NFL, that's got to be a pretty high QB passer rating, I would say.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like, we were 20 yards or less away from the field goal from the goal line at that point. To be fair, and then it's really just something about tapping into your animal instincts. But so I don't take too much credit for that. I'll credit years of evolution and breeding dogs out of wolves, breeding cats out of bears, and breeding humans out of monkeys. Whoever bred the humans, I think did a great job, and you just need to tap into that primal quarterback energy sometimes, and it just happened.
So Matt, I hope you don't mind if I change gears a little bit here. I've heard that you every once in a while you can be a bit of a rude boy, so to speak. There's even been talks of your discussions with cousin John. Well, I guess not cousin John. John Albano. I don't know what's his formal name. Because obviously cousin John is John
Laney
of the Miss Nieces.
Oh, we'll need to come up with a name for first cousin John. First cousin John, that just doesn't roll off the tongue. We need Well, we'll get back to you on that. But yeah, we understand who you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we'll put a picture up of him on the show for anyone who's a little confused by the amount of Johns. We'll put a picture up so you know who we're talking about.
right, yeah, that's a good point because we have Johns in this family come a dime a dozen. It seems like. But Matt, there's been talks of you having discussions with him about going to Scotland and sleeping on Kat's couch. Just using your relatives, just for their couch to crash on during such a exotic location, such a great vacation. So I mean, are these rumors true about being a rude boy, and what does it what does it mean for you to be a rude boy?
Yeah, well, So to answer the first question, I've certainly brought up the subject with the John Albano in question, he and I think have a history of like crashing on couches of relatives, proximate or distant, as as the second question alluded to. So I guess, yeah, if you categorize that as rude boy, then look me up in the dictionary and find my picture under rude and boy together. And this is the only picture in the Scrabble dictionary, actually, because they wanted to make sure that what rude means. But yeah, the whole trick there, I feel like, people might ask, like, how legal is it to be rude? And I think the legality of it, I defer to John for that, because he's done more law school than I have. But I mean, really, when it comes down to practicality, you just invite yourself, pile into a falling apart old Dodge Caravan, and then a new alternator and a couple tires later, you bada bing bam boom, you're in the basement room of Uncle Bob's bed and breakfast in Bonnie, Colorado. I think it's a short cry from that to Scotland, where where I feel like, as long as you've got a Catherine with a couch, my philosophy is go for it.
So Matt, you talk pretty in depth about what goes into being a rude boy, I guess. Have you ever done something like this in the past?
So I mean, the most rude experience that I've had, I think it qualifies, is doing exactly what I just described, and with the addition, I would add, it's not rude unless the experts say, unless you almost die of frostbite, hammocking, right, and then you also have to have John or James or both whip out a guitar and play a sad song about a car breaking down when your van breaks down, and then you have to make memes about it immediately and send it to all the cousins who said they were going to go on the trip and didn't. And I think that pretty much covers it. And then your rude boy material. And we've also had honorary rude boys for every rude trip that we've taken, and most of these are female. And it would be fun to get some of those more distant cousins in a cranberry bowl someday, I would say, because those are actually some very tall girls that we encountered in Colorado. Those that mountain air, and it was those bones. What's the youngest one? Joyce Bone.
Cousin Joyce, yeah.
Cousin Joyce, honorary rude boy. Now that
Cousin Joyce, daughter of Cousin Elaine and Uncle Bob. That is.
Yeah, that's correct. She's what a tower of
A tower
tallness.
of power.
Yeah, I think any one of those with the Uncle Bob genes would give the would give our would just throw a monkey wrench in the tall tournament of girl cousins, I believe.
Right. And Timmy, you know, we talked about it last episode. Height isn't everything, right? You know, there still is much more to the game than just having pure height, you know, and as much as people may lead you to believe that, you know, sometimes height is everything. And, you know, like we've talked about before, a lot of times in the past, we've just matched up the rosters based on height, which is not how it's going to happen this year. Just a quick little insider tip to all you listeners out there. But in the past, we've matched up people by height. And, you know, Timmy, we talked about it last time. Height's really it's not everything. There's more aspects to the game than just height.
Yeah, Nate, I'm glad you brought that up. I think it's a really important point to drive home because, like you said, you know, we tried to say it last time, and hopefully we make it more clear this time that height is not everything. A lot of times, you know, being fleet of foot, you know, the skill, strength, you know, some of those other things, hand-eye coordination, you know, can often be more important than height. So I just want to, you know, drive that home. I know we said it last time, but I want to, I want to be sure that all of our listeners really understand the finer details of the sport.
Right. Football IQ, fleet of footness, strength, you know, speed. It's all in there.
And also, you know, while we're on the topic of these rude boys, I just want to, you know, maybe take a moment to remember Cousin Elaine's tomato bake. You know,
oh man,
I think we can all say that we missed that, and that was, you know, one of our better experiences in our lives, at least for me. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I will put words into James and John's mouth of the Albano clan, the Albano organization, if you will. I know it's one of their, you know, better moments of their life.
Yeah.
So I think we should just mention that, and if anyone ever has the chance to try it, well, let me just say I would really question your judgment if you forego that opportunity. So.
Indeed.
Yeah, those are the kind of on-the-fly judgments that make a difference on the field too. It's good that y'all are talking about the different elements of fleet of foot and things of that nature, because I think from the Hoff power culture, just to give you a little insight, we anecdotally, it's often been kind of a myopic focus on that overlooked aspect that maybe you guys might have a little bit to talk about, but of sense of humor, as Karen Hoffpower, tall girl, said, and at the age of 5 years, post birth, she was recorded on my dad's Facebook memories as saying, "There's one rule in this house: you can't not be funny." Karen, age 5. So, you know, I think that's been consistently something that we Hoffpowers have tried to bring to the, not exclusively the Hoffpowers, but certainly the Hoffpowers have tried to bring to the Thanksgiving gridiron table. And, you know, yeah, I would throw the question back at y'all. How much do you think that actually it factors into the play of the Cranberry Bowl play to play, you know, day to day?
Well, I'll just go first. I would say that absolutely that has a big part to play, right? We talk about football IQ. That's a big part of it. You know, if you're out there playing the game and you don't know how to laugh or know how to make other people laugh, how are you expecting to get past someone so fleet of foot as Mark, say? You know, like no one's going to be able to get past Mark. That's just not possible.
Right.
But if you can make him laugh, hey, that's easy. He's on the ground laughing, holding his sides, and you're past scoring touchdowns. You know,
all right. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
May his marks always be marky and his bunches always be funky.
Oh, indeed.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I just think the game wouldn't be the same without that humor. It wouldn't have the same sense of maybe I don't even know the right word. Maybe like the same mystic sense. You know, the same.
Mysticism.
Everyone knows the game. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. But you know, would it really be the game it is without the humor factoring in there? I mean, that's something that, I can say I try not to watch the smaller leagues like the NFL too much, but I can definitely say that humor doesn't really seem to be a part of their game, and that's probably why they haven't really grown to such to as big a scale as the Cranberry Bowl has. So I think if we lose that, then we really lose. We lose a pillar. We might need someone to find a leg so that the game has something to stand on at that point.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's a great analysis.
And I know, Matt, you've also been seeing, painting the lines on the balls and stuff like that. We call him Matt, the good man with the brush, of course. Is that something that you think also plays an effect? Like, the way the lines are situated on the ball. And, of course, we don't paint lines on our field, right? We set it up, someone's extra shoe goes for one end zone and somebody's extra backpack goes for the other end zone. But how much of an effect do you think the painting of the lines on the ball and stuff like that, what do you I guess really my question is, what sort of satisfaction do you derive from that?
Oh yeah, well, I'll tell you something right now. One thing for sure is there's a lot of thought and a lot of technique that goes into every choice and every detail of the setup of the field and the ball, and how much that actually plays out is in the how much of a difference that actually makes in the mental game of the players is a point of dispute. But that is that's where that comes up, is in the mental game. You have like which color white at Home Depot do you pick to paint the white stripes on the ball, and like how is that going to be like 1 1/4 inch thick stripes, or just 3/4 of an inch? What shoe size, what shoe brand? There's a question of how much dirt and where does the dirt come from on the shoe? Should the shoe be untied? How all of these things. I think it's to inspire, in the spirit of the player, a bit of the like some dust from Greece could make you feel like you're ready for some Herculean efforts. Some dust from the Norwegian region could also have the same effect. In fact, if you if you notice when Marie filmed that one of the greatest games, you can see off in the background Evelyn going over and licking some dust off of Ellie's shoe, which is I think that you think about, okay, if this is Ellie's shoe, and you think about the genetic profile that we've taken from all the cousins and have their genome, just written out on my computer, that her sweat mixed with the dust from, in that case, I think it was Libya, and you just think about these things, and then I think that you get a lot of satisfaction from the job well done, whether or not that has a because the only way you could really tell if it made a difference is if you got in a time machine, rewind it, put out different shoes, and then play the game again. Which I certainly wouldn't be opposed to that if we were to come that far with our technology. But at this point, all you can do is just like hope for the best. But it's just a good feeling when you put that much thought into something, and then you go out there and you see the shoes on the ground, and sometimes you don't see them, but hopefully you see them and stay in bounds, and it just just a great just a lot of the pride of a workman who can take pride in his work, and that you kind of miss that in our post-industrial age, where the value of work is a little bit depreciated. So I think that it's a good thing that the Cranberry Bowl is doing for culture, just to have that craft to be perpetuated. So the soapbox, that's I'll get off of that now. But
now, really elegantly put, Matt. That was really a treat to listen to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's good.
Okay, well, Matt, I know you got a lot of things on your plate. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but was there anything else that you had in your mind that you wanted to talk about when you came on today's show? And hopefully we'll see you around for some more. But was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I guess just a little update in terms of the in terms of the potentials of the lineup for the draft, I believe that we've had from the Hoff Power side of the farm, we've had 3 moos ring out in the night. Was it? It's myself, Karen, and one of the boys, Peter, Will had.
I think it was Will.
Okay, yeah, Will, who hopefully knows his work schedule out that far. But yeah, I can always jump on him a little bit more. I know Joey was obviously like busy with cracking the whip over at NASA and trying to get those goofballs to put a rocket together, and he had to do most of the work himself, which he never complains about. He's great about that.
Yeah, hard worker, that Joey.
Yeah. And then Peter's just had so much hair recently that you can hardly hear what he's saying. With all the hair absorbs a lot of wavelength of when he tries to send a text message, or like vocal decibels when he tries to speak. But now that he's got a haircut, hopefully I can ask those 2 again and see if they come through a little more clearly with a response. And we're hoping for an affirmative. We're hoping for a yay from both of those. And I believe Anne is going to be on the media team for she might be following Marie around, and that's Marie's got a right to have the best audio visual techs in the league. And Veronica Hoffpower, her abbreviation of her name is AV, so hopefully she'll be on the AV team, pulling it through for us, coming in clutch. So I believe that's how the Hoffpowers are looking.
Awesome. Is there anything else? Anything else you want to talk about?
I wish. This was fun. I certainly enjoyed it.
Sweet. Well, can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, well, real quick, Matt, do you want to, do you know, I guess, what dates the Lakeshore drivers have coming up, so that our fans can come check y'all out?
Well, so I mean, we've all heard by now the tragedy of Porch and Patio, which was leveled in a nuclear test disaster. But I believe that we are looking at dates upcoming mostly in November and December, and we will be working on our Christmas repertoire. But as of right now, there is nothing on the calendar, so nothing definite. So I will certainly be in touch with y'all if you want to know, and we'll make sure that you can have that news to share with the podcast and our listeners in the future.
There you have it. Well, listeners, we got some very exciting guests coming up. If anyone has any questions that they want to ask to someone, be it a relative or a non-relative, you can either reach out to me or to Timmy. And if you don't know how to get in touch with us, then do some sleuthing. I'm sure you can figure it out. It shouldn't be too hard. We got the internet these days. All of everybody's information is everywhere. So if you should be able to find it.
Right. As Dr. Seuss said, get a clue, Nancy Drew. And I think that's a vibe for life.
Yeah, definitely reach out if there's any interviews, any people you want to hear interviewed. Reach out to us. We probably will have a connection with them to bring them on. So yeah, we hope to hear back from y'all regarding those things. And that's all I got.
All right. Well, Timmy, it was great talking to you. Matt, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely,
it was wonderful
fantastic
meeting you in the studio.
Yeah, this was such a treat.
And we'll see y'all next time.
Hooty hoo.
And a bottle of rum.